Can the Chicago Bears win the NFC North this year? I'm Alexis Jade, and let's get into it. The schedule has officially been released for the 2024-2025 NFL season, and I am here with the very, very early record prediction for the Chicago Bears. Let's go. First up, we have week 1 against the Tennessee Titans at home. Now, I do think this is a little bit closer of a matchup than some people are getting credit for. I do think it's going to be pretty even-keeled, especially with it being week 1 and anything can happen week 1. It's always up in the air. And I do think our roster kind of matches up well against the Tennessee Titans. And I do think there's a possibility of us, if we're not properly prepared like we weren't last year, losing this game. However, I'm giving week 1 as a win to the Bears. Week 2, we are away playing the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans is another one where I actually think on paper we stack up quite nicely against them. Obviously, this is a much improved Houston Texans team who already was in the playoffs last year with a rookie quarterback, which the Bears are hoping to emulate this season with Caleb Williams. But that's besides the point. I do think the Bears have a shot of actually winning this game, but to be on the safe side, I'm going to give this one as a loss to the Bears just because I don't think we're going to quite be in our best shape on offense yet when this game comes around. So, week 2 is a loss for the Bears. Week 3, we are away again versus the Indianapolis Colts. I do think this is another one where, on paper, this isn't a difficult first few games of the season, but with a new offensive coordinator, a new system, a rookie quarterback, anything can happen. And I kind of think that this one is going to be another close game. And although it's an Eberflus revenge game where Matt Eberflus was the defensive coordinator of the Colts before coming to the Bears, I unfortunately have to give this one as a loss to the Bears. I do think it's going to be a close matchup and one that a lot of Bears fans think we should win. And we end up losing this one. And the Bears start with a 1-2 record to start the season. Week 4 is when it starts to get interesting. We host at home and bring in the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams are obviously a good team. Even last year when they were supposed to be rebuilding, they still made their way into the playoffs. And we do have experience playing against Matthew Stafford. However, even though I do think there's a chance of the Bears being out-coached here, I do actually think that for some reason my gut is telling me the Bears squeak out a surprise win here. I think on paper, I'm not really concerned about this Los Angeles defense, especially with the loss of Donald. I honestly think that this matchup goes quite well for the Bears on offense, and I do think that week 4 might be around the time that Caleb Williams starts to slowly get into his groove with Shane Waldron, controlling the offense. I kind of think the Bears have a shot at winning this one, so I'm giving the Bears a surprise win in week 4. Week 5, we have Carolina. I feel like I shouldn't really have to delve too much into this. It is Carolina. I genuinely believe, no disrespect to the Carolina Panthers, but something would have to go terribly wrong for the Bears to lose this game. Although it scares me speaking that into existence, I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm going to give this win as an easy win for the Bears. Now, week 6, we technically have a home game, but are flying our happy butts out to London, where we are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, once again, this is another team on paper that the Bears should be able to beat. Basically, our entire first 6 games of the season are relatively not that good of teams. And theoretically, the Bears have a chance at going 6-0 the first 6 games of the season. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but they have a shot when you compare these teams on roster on paper right now. All that being said, the Jaguars roster does not really concern me. I know they have experience playing in London. However, this is the first game of the season where the Jags are in London. So we're both going to be flying in from a previous week playing in the States, and both teams are going to be flying out to play in London on the same week. I do actually think the Bears come away with the win here. Now, after the Jaguars, we do have a bye week, so count that as a win. Week 8 against the Washington Commanders, who I believe this is a primetime game. That being said, the Bears did play the Commanders last year and kind of whooped their butts. Justin Fields had one of his best games of the season. DJ Moore caught 4 passing touchdowns that game. Obviously, coming off of a bye, everything is up in the air, and the Bears tend to be a little rusty out of the bye. I think that after this bye is when the Chicago Bears offense really starts to turn around. for the better. And I'm not saying it's going to be perfect after the bye, but I think they're really going to take that time during the bye to analyze what worked and what didn't and really lean into what's working. And I think they're going to come out as a much stronger offense after that bye week. So mark me down as a win versus the Washington Commanders. Week 9, the Arizona Cardinals. This is another team last year that the Bears played very well against. It was a very good game by both the Bears offense and defense. I actually have this one down as a Bears loss. I think there's a few games on the schedule this season that we're going to win when we shouldn't have, and we're going to lose when we shouldn't have. But for some reason, I kind of have a feeling that this Cardinals team is one the Bears aren't going to take seriously enough, and we're going to choke and lose the game. Week 10 versus the Patriots. This is a Patriots team with a new coach, a new quarterback, and a kind of depleted roster. Honestly, there's nothing on this Patriots team that really scares me right now. I know I've talked a lot this video about on paper the Bears look like they should be the better team, but kind of like the Panthers, the Bears really should be the better team this week. So right now, give me the win against the New England Patriots. Week 11 versus Green Bay. This is the first time we will play a division game all season. Is finally week 11, and of course it is against the Green Bay Packers. The Bears need to win against the Packers. We have not won against the Packers for 10 straight games, which is just flat out embarrassing. And we all know how the season ended last year with the loss against the very embarrassing loss against the Packers. And unfortunately, I have us losing this game as well. The Packers are coming off of a bye this week, and they tend to perform quite well after a bye. The Bears are going to be outcoached. Matt LaFleur is a fantastic coach. He really knows how to use the skill sets he has and how to put his quarterback in the best position to succeed. So, assuming there's no glaring injuries on this Packers roster, I do think the Bears lose this game. To be honest, it's kind of hard to pick the Bears to win against the Packers right now when they have yet to prove that they can. It will happen at some point. Don't know when, but I don't predict it to be week 11. Week 12 against the Vikings. This is where the schedule starts to get interesting for me. I have this as a win. This Vikings team, I really think their record is up in the air. They could end up being very good or very, very bad in the division. And I don't think on paper they're a bad team. They have a lot of very, very good players on their team. But their schedule looks kind of rough, and they're playing with a rookie quarterback as well, who I do think needs time to develop, and I don't think he's going to get that. I do think at some point early on the season before we play them, JJ McCarthy is going to be in. Assuming JJ McCarthy is in for this game, I'm giving this win to the Bears. I don't think it's going to be a blowout win. I think it's going to be a tough game, but give me a win for the first game against the Minnesota Vikings at home. Week 13 against Detroit. This is the Thanksgiving game. Give me the win for the Bears. I think the Bears have the Lions number, and I honestly think there's a chance the Bears can sweep the Lions. I hope I'm not wrong, but for some reason the Bears know how to beat the Lions, and they know how to get to Jared Goff. Especially playing Thanksgiving, where the Lions have tended to struggle on those primetime Thanksgiving games. So mark me down as a win here, and we will be eating fat and happy after a nice Bears win, step on our faces with turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Week 14 against the 49ers. Now this is where, once again, I start to get a little crazy. This is an away game, which is going to make it extremely difficult against a very good 49ers team. However, I do think this 49ers team, as soon as they're down 1 to 2 of their star players, they get a lot worse. And I'm thinking by week 14, someone is down. Someone is injured. I hope that's not the case, but that seems to be the case with the 49ers every year. One of their big players goes down. So that being said, I do actually believe that this is a win for the Bears. Just like I said, there's going to be a surprise loss in there. I think week 14 against the 49ers at their home is going to be a surprise win for the Bears, where not many people are expecting them to win, and they come out and they beat this 49ers team. The Bears offense should start to be cooking by now. And I think if everyone is staying healthy, this Bears offense should be starting to get on a roll, and a lot of pressure can come off the defense, and this Bears team might be on a hot streak. Week 15 against Minnesota. Now, just like I said, the Bears are on a hot streak. I think they get a little too in their heads about it, a little too excited. The momentum's in their favor, and they choke a last-minute fourth quarter drive and lose to the Minnesota Vikings. I already gave them a win earlier in the season against the Vikings, so we're gonna split it and give this one as a loss to the Bears. Week 16 against the Lions. Just like I said, I think the Bears can sweep the Lions this year. I'm doing it. I'm gonna have the Bears win week 16 against the Lions at home, fighting to be in the playoffs. So give me the win against the Lions for a clean sweep against Detroit. Week 17, we have Seattle. Now, I actually think the Seattle team is quite good. I'm not saying they're any better than the Bears, but I think it's a good matchup on paper as of now. And I do think that with how difficult this end of the season is for the Bears, I think this is a game that they probably lose just out of pure exhaustion of their starters. Maybe someone has a minor injury that they need to rest for a week. So give me a little bit of a surprise loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Finally, the Bears, Week 18, wrap up their season where else but in Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, the Packers have had our number. We have not won to them. I predicted them to lose a Week 11 to the Packers. Something is going to be on the line Week 18, and it is going to be a gauntlet of a game. The Bears are going to come out with the win, but Caleb Williams is in his mode now, and we come out and we win this game Week 18 and finally end the losing streak against the Green Bay Packers to end the season. With all of that, I officially have the Caleb Williams-led Bears team of 2024 with a record of 11-6, which honestly isn't that bad. That's actually a lot better than I thought as I'm speaking these win-loss predictions out. I thought it was going to be a little bit less than that, and maybe in my delusion head I gave them a few wins that they probably aren't going to win. But giving them an 11-6 win season now and looking at the schedule, there's really only like a few games you can mark as surprise losses, but even then, I still count a surprise win in there. So really, it's anyone's guess. But with that 11-6 record, it really is most likely the Bears are in the playoffs with that type of record and potentially even winning the division with that record. So maybe that's a little bit optimistic of me to predict that, but at the same time, it's a very early season record prediction. A lot of factors are going to be at play that we don't know about right now. I kind of like the way the schedule is looking out. Now, if you want to see my full schedule breakdown where I kind of dive a little bit more into this record prediction and talk about the teams and also take a peek at the schedule of our NFC North opponents for the season, check out the podcast when it's live. And if you're not able to watch it live, once it is officially recorded and posted, I will link it to this video so you can click it and watch it from here. I appreciate you guys for watching, and don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and comment down below what your season predictions are. And if you haven't already, subscribe because I really appreciate that. It helps support my channel. Come watch the live. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I'm Alexis Jade. Go Bears.